All right, so we are going to start with our track number 1, which is creating artwork using Python. And I would like you to open this software. So if you are on a school laptop, you can just go and search on the right, and this is going to open a search window, and then you can just type Visual Studio Code. So this is like a place where you just type your code and it lets you run the code in Python and see what you like, see the output of the program basically. Okay. So when you open it, it is going to give you some of these like menu over, like some of this menu over here. Of course, you will not have any of these files because these are my files out here. But if you want to create a new file, let me show you. So, okay, let me just close these files so that you can see. So this is what you will be able to see when you first time not log in, but just open Visual Studio Code. So what you can do is you can just click on new file, and then it will give you these options. Of course, we are working with Python, so you can create Python file. Okay. And then we can start writing some code over here. So to create the artwork, the basically Python has a infinite number of, I would say, libraries which help you create so many things. Okay, like there is no limit to the libraries that you can use in Python, but today we are going to be using this library called Turtle. So if you want to use any of these wonderful libraries in Python, the command is import title. So turtle. So this turtle is going to give you a number of functions to draw, to color, and to, sort of create repetitions and tessellations and all of those things, right? So you just write import turtle, and it will sort of import all those functions automatically, and then you can use those. Okay. Now, when I create artwork, I just, for the sake of clarity and for the sake of visibility, I just want to start by saying that I want the background color of my artwork to be black. You can actually, experiment with it, and you can actually even have something else as well. Okay. You can also, I would say that every time I have to type turtle, so I would rather nickname the turtle. I would say, okay, I'll just call it T. Okay, this is how you can actually create nicknames. So T is turtle dot turtle. Even if you don't understand some of this code, it's absolutely all right, because this is like, it's the basic code. It is going to be in all the programs that you create. So you just basically are creating a small nickname for turtle library, and you're calling it T. Okay. Now, when the artwork gets created, you want the, let's say, the speed of the generative art to be really fast. And I'll show you, if you change it, what happens. So T dot speed 0 is the fastest speed the turtle can actually create something for you. Okay. Then the lines which are going to be there in the artwork, I can say that, okay, I want the width of those lines to be, let's say, 5. I can change that also. So these numbers that you see, if you experiment with them, you'll see a lot of changes in it. Okay. And the last thing, let's say I can say, okay, the color of the lines that are going to be in my artwork is going to be, let's say, magenta color. So black background on, and this is going to be. Now what I first want to create is just a simple shape like a square. Okay, so what I'm going to say, a square basically has four lines. Like you can create four edges, or four lines can actually create a square. So four sides, so you can say, okay, four sides in range 4. Okay, because you want each side one by one to be created, and four times four sides will create a square. So what you want to do, 4 times you want to move the turtle forward, okay, by, let's say, a distance of 120 pixels. So 120 steps it will take forward. Okay, so it will create one line. Then you want the turtle to turn to a right angle of 90-degree. Okay, because this is then going to turn 90, and then this forward and right is going to be repeated 4 times. So it goes forward, then right, then forward, then right, forward, right, forward, right, and finally this will be done. Okay, and when you are done with it, you can actually just say turtle dot done. So this is a very simple piece of code, and to run this, you can actually save this file. Okay, you can call it, don't call it turtle, otherwise Python really gets confused with the name of this file that you have created and the library called turtle. So create just something else like square or whatever. Okay, you you can save it. And then when you run it from here on the top right, it says run Python file. It should open another window where you will see that a square has been created. Now the speed was really fast, so you didn't see it being created. So I would say let's change the speed of the turtle to 6 so that you see it slowly working its way. So did you see that it was actually creating that? Okay. Now I can actually create another pattern, like a proper shape to it. So what I want to do, I don't want to create just one square. I want to create, let's say, 12 different squares, but which are turned at an angle of, let's say, 30 degrees. Okay. So what I'm gonna say that, okay, I am setting the repeats in my or maybe let's even skip that. What I'm going to say that this is the code which creates a square. I want this code to be repeated 12 times, and every time it repeats, every time a square is created, I want the angle to be 30 degrees. Okay, so just on top of it, I'm going to say for repeats in range 12. Okay, like that, and then I will move this code one step forward. So all of this which is inside this part is going to be repeated 12 times. So the square will be created 12 times, and every time a square is made, I want that it goes right by how many times? The 360 is the angle divided by 12, or you can just 30 degrees. Okay, so when you do that and you run this code, you will see this is what's gonna happen. So it's creating 12 different squares, but every time it's creating a square, it's basically just moving the angle to be 30 degrees. So you created your first artwork today using Python, and I hope this was simple to use, simple to generate. What I want you to do as a challenge is this, and I'm not going to show you the code. I want you to just see what I'm doing. All right, so if you were able to create the previous code, I'm giving you a challenge that can you create this kind of a thing, which is literally things happening, two different sizes of squares creating patterns. Can you try that as a challenge?